What's up guys, it's your bro Richie again. Today in this video is now part 2 on the first gen Ford Mustang. Um, so part 2 on the first gen Mustang. The next part I'm doing is the design. So before I get started, make sure y'all like the video, subscribe, comment down below what you guys think, hit the notification bell, and hit all so you when I make brand new uploads. Alright, so without any further ado, let's begin. So next part is design. So the Ford Design Studio ultimately produced the winning design. So the Ford Design Studio ultimately produced the winning design in the in the intramural contest under project design chief Joe Oros. So Joe Oros and his team of L. David Ash, Gail Halderman, John Foster, and George Shoemaker. It's like saying Schumacher, but without the C and the H, it's with a K. So George Shoemaker. This design was called the Cougar, but by the design team. Otto states, I then called a meeting with all the Ford studio designers. We talked about the sporty car for most of that afternoon, setting parameters for what it should look like and what it should not look like. By making lists on a large pad, a technique I adapted from the management seminar, we taped the lists up all around the studio. So we taped the lists up. We taped the lists up all around the studio to keep ourselves on track. We also had photos of all the previous sporty cars that had been done in the corporate advanced studio as a guide to themes or ideas that were either tied or not acceptable to management. Within a week, we had hammered out a new design. We cut templates and fitted them to the clay model that had been started. We cut right into it, adding or deleting clay to accommodate our new theme, so it wasn't like starting all over. But we knew Lincoln Mercury would have 2 models, and Advance would have 5. Some they had previously shown and modified, plus a couple extras. But we would only have 1 model because Ford Studio had a production schedule for a good many facelifts and other projects. We couldn't afford the manpower, but we made up for lost time by working around the clock, so our model would be ready for the management review. In a 2024 interview, Owners recalls the planning behind the design. So he said, I told the team that I wanted the car to appeal to women, but I wanted men to desire it too. I wanted a Ferrari like front end, the motif centered on the front, something heavy looking like a Maserati, but please not a Trident. And I wanted air intakes on the side to cool the rear brakes. I said it should be as sporty as possible and look like it was related to European design or Euro design. Then we got David Ash. His name was L. David Ash. I'm not sure what the L is abbreviated to, like what it stands for. I think it's Leo or Liam. I'm not too sure, but it's L. David Ash. Uh, so he's often credited with the actual styling of the Mustang. Uh, uh, Ash in a 1965. I think I can barely see from this. Hold on. There we go. In a 1985 interview speaking of the origin of the Mustang design, when asked the degree of his contribution, said, I would say substantial. However, anyone that says they designed the car by themselves is wrong. Iacocca didn't design it. He conceived it. He's called the father of it. And And in that respect, he was. I did not design it in total, nor did Oros. It was designed by a design group. You look at the photo taken at the award banquet for the Industrial Designers Society, where the Mustang received the medal. It's got Damon Woods in it, the group that did the mentor, and Charlie Faniff, who was the Damon. And it's got myself and John Foster, who was with me. It's got John. It's got John Najjar, Najj AR in it. So nobody actually did the car as such. Um, so nobody actually did the car as such. Ayakoka in his book flat out comes and says I did the car. It's right there in print. It's David Ash's Mustang. Bordenat will tell you I did the car. This book tells you I did the car, but in actual fact, I had a lot of help, and I don't think anyone ever does a car by himself. Not in these times, anyway. We got Gail Holderman. So, so Gail Holderman, in a 2002, interview, with Collectible Automobile, spoke of the Mustang's evolution, through the Ford Design Studio. David Ash had stated a clay model of the car. He had this very boxy, very stiff looking car. Joe came back from a management conference, saw it, and said, "No, no, no, we're not going to do that." Then he, that's when he came to me. He said, "We've just been given an assignment by Gene Bordenet to do a proposal on a small car that Lee Iacocca wants to build. We've got to do one, and I want you to work on that project." I went home and sketched some cars, and I took about 5 or 6 sketches with me the next morning and put them up on the board. We must have put 25 sketches on the board that morning because Joe assigned 3 or 4 of us to do designs. Joe picked one of the sketches I did at home to be clay modeled, so we actually started over on David Ash's clay model with the theme from one of my designs, which had scoops on the side and the hop-up quarter lines. To decrease developmental costs, the Mustang used chassis, suspension, and drivetrain components derived from both the Ford Falcon and Fairlane. Sorry, it utilized a platform type frame from the 1964 Falcon and welded box section side rails, including welded cross members. Although hardtop Mustangs accounted for the highest sales, durability problems with the new frame led to the engineering of a convertible first, which ensured uh, adequate stiffness. The overall length of the Mustang and Falcon was identical, although the Mustang's wheelbase was slightly shorter. With an overall width of 68.2 inches, it was 2.4 inches narrower, yet the wheel track was nearly identical. Shipping weight approximately 2,570 pounds, 1,166 kilos, with the straight 6 cylinder, so the inline six engine. So the inline six was similar to the Falcon. A fully equipped V8 version weighed approximately 3,000 pounds, 1,361 kilos. So it's pretty much a little bit heavier because of the V8. Although most of the mechanical parts were from the Falcon, the Mustang's body was completely different, including a shorter wheelbase, lower seating position, and lower. So shorter wheelbase, shorter wheelbase, lower seating position, and lower overall weight. No, wait, sorry. Lower overall height. Sorry, just can't really see it from this distance. An industry first, the torque box was an innovative structural system that stiffened the Mustang's construction and helped contribute to better handling. Gail Holderman spoke of the engineering and design of the car in his interview, stating, "No one knew the Mustang was going to be as popular as it was, but it created a huge stir in the company. There's a huge stir in the company. Everyone just loved it, even engineers. Though we must have been 75 in-house engineering and manufacturing roles. The Mustang had the first floating bumpers. The whole front end was a die casting with a floating hood. It's a floating hood. Uh, there are so many things that engineers said we shouldn't be doing, but they didn't want to change them either. There was so much enthusiasm right from the start. Even the drivers at the test track loved it. We would go there for meetings, and the crowds of people around it were huge. That was totally unusual. So we suspected the Mustang was going to be a hit. The idea for a fastback originated with Joe Oros as well and was designed in Charlie Phanof's studio. Haldeman recalls, we did it in secret. No one, including Hall, Sperlich, or A.K.A, saw it until it was finished. We cast it in fiberglass, painted it bright red, and then showed it to A.K.A. He said, "We've got to do it." Last part, and I'll end it there. An additional four-door model was designed by David Ash as a clay model, but was not considered. All right, so that will be it for now. For my next first gen Mustang video, will be about the mid 1964 model until 1966. So that's gonna be the next one. So if you guys like this video, like and subscribe, comment down below what you guys think. Hit the notification bell and hit all so you literally know when I make brand new uploads. All right, so that'll be it for now. I'll see you guys soon in the next video. But until then, stay safe, have a great morning, and also have a great day as well. And I'll see you guys soon in the next video. So take care, folks. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace out.